In this next episode, I want to talk about the Constellar archetype. Constellar, known as Sacred in the OCG, is an archetype of light attribute monsters which was introduced in dual terminal Sacred Star Knights. Their team symbol is a golden 8-pointed star with a small circle behind it. The Ixie monsters of the archetype, however, have a larger sun-like circle encasing the team symbol. This archetype so far has the second most diverse Ixie monsters, ranging from rank 3 to 6 and placing behind the Ixie-only archetype number. This archetype is based on constellations. Each non-Ixie monster has a symbol from the astrological zodiac in their respective backgrounds, representing which constellation they're from. Each of the non-Ixie Constellar monsters is named after a prominent star or star's location in, and are themselves based on a constellation of the ecliptic. All of these constellations are by definition also signs of the zodiac. Ixie Constellar monsters are directly named after prominent star clusters rather than individual stars. The only exception to this is the non-Ixie monster, Constellar Sombre. Let's talk about the playing style. The Constellar archetype mostly focuses on Ixie summons, and most non-Ixie Constellar monsters so far have effects that trigger on summon and focus on both swarming and toolboxing. Constellar Ixie monsters all require light attribute monsters to be Ixie summoned, except for Constellar Polyam 7, Constellar Aldebaran, Constellar Algadi, and Constellar Virgo, when normal summon, can special summon another Constellar monster with the same level as they have. Constellar Sheraton and Constellar Z can both add another Constellar monster from the deck to the hand when summoned to the field. Combining these with cards such as Double Summon and Ultimate Offering can lead to an easy swarm of the field. Overall, the weakness of this archetype is that their monsters, except for Ixie monsters, focus heavily on their own archetype, so it's best not to add too many non-Constellar monsters. The only non-Constellar monsters that are recommended would be Honest, a staple in light-based decks, Cyber Dragon for a quick beat stick as well as to lure out any traps, Ghost Ship for rank 5 Ixies, and even to the extent Card D for its amazing draw power. Another weakness is the fact that traps can severely cripple the deck, though this applies to many decks of today's meta, but especially to Constellar, as it is hard for them to make a comeback since they do not have enough support yet. Therefore, it's recommended to main at least 2 Royal Decree. Aside from that, they have great potential in maintaining their toolbox strategy, keeping their hand always with a good amount of cards which Tragodia would fit. Besides its high attack, it can manipulate levels of your non-Constellar Ixies, except for Polyms. Not to mention controlling your opponent's monsters with this archetype that has various levels. This archetype can also easily bring out powerful rank 3 to 5 Ixies monsters extremely fast, even on first turn depending on the hand. An ideal combo would be to use Constellar Pollux or Constellar Algadi in combination with Constellar Cos, which can then be used to Ixie into Constellar Pleiades. Using Fire Formation Tenki to search for Cos may prove useful. Constellar Lioness and Constellar Sheraton can also be used to bring you +2 by allowing a search for another Constellar, as well as Ixieing into famous rank 3 monsters such as Wind-Up Zenmane's number 17 Leviathan Dragon or their own Constellar Hades, which can both switch monsters with high attack to defense position and may be a rank 3 fodder for those Chaos Ixie changes of Constellar Polyam 7. With the release of Constellar Star Cradle, Constellar now has access to a powerful card that retrieves 2 Constellar monsters in your graveyard for more Ixie summons. Let's talk about the main weaknesses of the deck. DNA Transplant and Scroll of Bewitchment can prevent the summoning of Hades, Pleiades, and Omega, as these monsters require light monsters to summon. As Constellars rely heavily on their monster effects, Skill Drain and Angel 07 can completely shut down this deck. Anti-light support and archetypes, i.e. Ally of Justice and Koeki Meru, can help with this too. Anything crippling special summons also has this deck struggling. Monsters such as Thunder King Ryo or Heroic Champion Gandiva pretty much end the game for you if protected well. Since most of their effects are centered towards efficient Ixie summoning, they themselves are very vulnerable and dependent on combos. So if they cannot perform an Ixie summon, then they can be put to a severe disadvantage, provided the opponent summons something stronger. So a respectable amount of spell and traps to prevent them is recommended. For this episode, we will be using a Backrow heavy monster control build. Because of Heavy Storm still being banned, we are able to keep a Backrow heavy very easily. With this build, we'll be using spell and trap cards to control what your opponent does with his front row. I'm going to leave off with some replays of the deck in action. If you enjoyed, please subscribe for more deck lists, archetype study, and gameplay. Also, down in the comments section, please put an archetype you want reviewed and explained. And as always, thanks for watching.